Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to the lesson number 9. Today we are going to talk about selecting meshes, manipulating the meshes, deleting meshes, adding meshes, and joining meshes. So have a lot of things to talk about, and we are actually this lesson is the last lesson before we jump into the modeling part. So next week we are going to start having a lot of fun. So let's get the ball rolling. Okay guys, so let's take a look on how to select and manipulate edges, vertices, and also faces. Okay, so I know that we have already discussed about it, but we are going a little deeper and it's always good to remember. So as I said, next week we are going to use a lot of these tools, and this is important for you guys to have it fresh in your mind. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'll delete this cube, and as usual, also I will create the Suzanne monkey, this one over here, and I think this object is the best one to explain these things. Okay, so I will change to the edit mode, pressing tab. Then here on this first button we have four kinds of selection. So we have the tweak. Okay, so using the tweak, you have to go directly to what you want to select. So for example, you have to go directly to the vertices, or to the edges, or to the faces. You can't make a selection. You have to, like the box selection, for example, that you click and drag and select more than one object or vertices or edges. Okay, so the next one is the select box. Using the select box, I can do what I was saying. So I can just click and drag, and then I can select faces, I can select edges, I can select vertices. Okay. This other one is the select circle. So this one you can kind of like paint the selection. So let's say, for example, you want to select only the eye. You can just click and drag your mouse and paint it. Okay. Also, we have the select lasso. It's kind of, I don't know if you have used Photoshop before, but it's quite the same as the lasso from Photoshop. Okay, so you can make for example, let's say that we want to select only the eye, so you can select here only the eye, or maybe the ear. Okay. I usually use select box as my main selection tool, but you can like choose, you can always toggle between them. Okay, we have already talked about these three little guys over here, the vertices and the edges and the faces. Okay, so when you toggle like between them, for example, if you now I'm in the vertices selection, so I can here I can only select vertices. Okay, here I can only select edges, and here I can only select faces. Okay, and as you learn how to manipulate objects in the object mode, we can do the same using the edit mode. We can, for example, select these two faces over here, and you can come over here and select the movement tool to move these two faces around. So if you click on any of those arrows, you can move it in any direction. Okay. Same for rotation, and same for scale. Oops. Also, another big thing about selection is to select the entire object. If you press A on your keyboard, you're going to select the entire edge or the entire vertices or the faces. Okay, and to undo this, you can use the shortcut Alt A. Okay, same for invert the selection. For example, if I select this part and for example I don't want it anymore, I want the invert selection, and what I need to do is press Alt A. So now the rest is selected and those two faces are not. Okay, and if you go here on the select tab, you can use the invert button over here, and also you can use the all selection for select everything and none to select none. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look on how to delete vertices, faces, and edges. Okay, I will select, for example, this face over here, and if I press X on my keyboard, this menu pop-ups, and if I select face, that is what I want to delete, I will delete it. So you can see here that now I can see through this monkey, so you can see what is inside of it. Okay, so let's see how to delete edges. So if you press here edges and then go to any edge, for example this one, and this is something curious because you're gonna see that when you delete an edge, as an edge is connected with other two faces, obviously this face and this face will delete as well. Okay, so I will press delete and edge, so now I have my edge deleted and these two faces are deleted as well. Okay, let's take a look on the vertices. So let's say that I want to delete these vertices over here, this vertex over here. So press X and then go to vertices. Now a bigger portion of the face and the edge are deleted because this connection, this vertex connect with all of these edges and face. Okay, if I delete it, it will delete the entire connection of all of these faces and edges. You can also dissolve edges, faces, and vertices. And what is it? For example, let's say that I don't want this edge here anymore. Okay, so I want to make these two faces one and not two. So for example, if I come here and go to the edge selection, select this edge, press X, and then go to the dissolve edges. Now you can see that we have one big face and not two anymore. Okay, same for vertices. For example, I don't want this vertex anymore, so if I press X, go to dissolve vertices, now as it is connected with other edges, it will dissolve the entire group or the entire connection of edges and face. Okay, so vertices, and now we have a big face over here. So it's the same for face. For example, I want to transform these two faces in one. If you select these two and then go and press X and then press face, now we have one big face. So it's very important to keep it in mind, and we are going to use it a lot. You are going to use it a lot when you are modeling stuff. Sometimes you need, I don't know, maybe a hole here, or sometimes you don't need, I don't know, this edge over here, and you need a big face. So it's you're gonna see that's very important. So you have to know these tricks and how to use it. Okay, so we have been learning how to delete edges, vertices, and face. So how can we add a vertex? If you
press Ctrl and right click, then you can create a vertex. And if you press it again, if you use the same shortcut again, now you have an edge. And if you do it again, now you have 3 vertices and 2 edges. If you select these 3 vertices and click, for example, here, now you're gonna see that we have a face. And if you like keep clicking, you can kind of draw meshes on the viewport. So it will always keep adding things, adding mesh, unless you unselect everything. So now I don't have anything selected. And now if I click Ctrl, right click again, now we have a new vertex. So if I deselect this vertex and click again, now we have a new one. So now that is this vertex is select, and if I click with this select, now we have an edge, and that's how it works. Okay, now if you can like keep drawing, for example. Oops, let's select this one, and if you select everything, now if you press Ctrl right click again, and this is what we got. So it's very helpful for modeling, and this is one way to add geometry and meshes.
Okay, I will create another loop over here and something like this. And let's say that we want to create a face over here. Okay, now we don't have a face. We have like a hole over here, and we want to create a face. So if you select these vertices, this vertex over here, and this one, now if you press F on your keyboard, we have a face. Okay, so let's say that we don't want a triangle face, we want a quad face. So if you select these 3 vertices and this one over here and press F on your keyboard, now you have a quad face. Okay, so same here. So let's say that we want to create a face to connect these 3 dots, this, and this, and press F. Now we have a face. Okay, so this is very helpful to fill up the gaps. So here, for example, the monkey, let's say that we need to fill this up, and what you have to do is select this vertex, this one, oops, this one, and this one. So if you press F, now you have a face, and same here. F, now you have a face. So let's see another example. Let me add cylinder, for example. Let's say that I will delete this and this and this and this face. Press X and delete face. So let's say that you want to join, you want to fill up these vertices again, this face again. What you have to do is go to the edge mode, then press select this vertex, this edge actually, and press F. Then you're gonna see that it automatically create a face for you. If you press F again, F and F, it will fill up the entire hole. Okay, so this is very helpful. Okay, same for here. For example, if I delete this upper face, and if I select everything, if you press Shift, Alt, and click, and you're going to select everything, all these edges around. Okay, and if you press F, now you have a face on it. Let's say that, for example, we have you add an edge here, pressing Ctrl R, and let me go to this menu down here and add 2 cuts. And I'll delete these faces over here. So I'll delete this face, And let's say that you want to connect these upper edges up here to the bottom edges down here. So if you go and select this edge and press F, now we have a face, and if you select this edge and keep pressing F, you're gonna fill it up. Okay, so this is very, very helpful. We're going to use it on our modeling lessons. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Next lesson, next week, we are going to jump into the modeling part. And again, we are going to have a lot of fun. And if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to leave your like. Okay, thank you.